Test, test. All right, sound check. All right, I think we're good. All right, guys. Sorry I am late. Went to a social function, the annual Ubuntu Mate Linux Foundation dinner meeting. No, just friends and family downtown. So here we are for this Friday evening. Welcome all. I am here. Sounding good. And before I forget, salute to all. This is really a prop. Dean Martin had a prop like this. He would pretend to have booze in it. It was actually, I think, apple juice, you know. So anyway, cheers. Good old Coca-Cola. All right, so again, my apologies for being a little bit late. I think this is only the second time I've been late this year, I think. Anyway, but it was a very good reason. So it's nice to be with friends and family for the holidays. So, all right, as a reminder, we'll do one tonight, tomorrow night, and probably Sunday night, and that might be the end of the live events for this year. So let's get a few guests in here. We'll go into I suppose, a timely topic, not just for the holidays, but for any day. So, who wants to join? Tim, you want to join? You can have the frying pan ready if you wish. So what's on the Hallmark Channel tonight? Christmas at Holly Lodge. Okay. Let's see. Joey, you want to join? Did I see my Australian friend, Vinny, come in? All right, let's get Vincent here if you want to join. And Steven here. I normally would, for something like this, I would have prepared some notes, old-fashioned notes, and a notepad, but I didn't do that. So I'll have, I don't want to be later any more than I am. So,
Happy Friday.
Hey, Joe. Happy Friday. How are you?
Good. I'm jealous. I wish I looked as good as you did.
Well, like I said, I didn't have time to really change, so I just got in. I changed my pants real quick, kept my dress shirt on, and I feel like I should be wearing like a bow tie or something and say, Mr. Bond, good evening, Mr. Bond.
I was just going to ask you if you could bring a fresh cup of water to the table for me.
No, but cheers.
There's the one-tongue guy. Oh, wait a minute, you're talking about your truck. All right. How you doing, Tim?
Oh, I'm doing just plain wonderful tonight. I'm not going to be able to hang too late because I found out that, I've known all week, but I didn't realize I have to be up so early in the morning to take somebody to the airport. I need to be up by about 3 a.m. So
okay.
I knew I was taking them tomorrow, but I thought their flight was like at 10, but their flight's at 6. So
little bit of a difference.
A little bit of a difference.
All right, I'll try to go through this topic as quickly as I can. So,
cool.
Anyway.
Well, speaking of censorship, you got your proverbial one thumbs down already. Maybe that should have been censored.
One more. I need my customary 2 to prove that this is not fake news or anything,
Yeah, there you go.
But not more than 2 now, Metal Lord, you're stoked. The Godfather of Doom, John Romero. I don't know who he is. Replied to your email. Who is John Romero? The Godfather of Doom, the game? Okay, that's a heck of a game. It was a heck of a game. I think I have it for the 360, I think. Doom. So welcome everybody in the chat.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, so Mark, Tom, I sent you a link. You had to step out. Or Sleepy, if you want to join, you're more than welcome to. Linux user, Benjamin Eldridge. Steve, check your email if you want to join.
Is it foggy by you, Carm?
No, it's a nice, cool, crisp night. It is 45 degrees, dry. It's actually comfy for this time of year.
Yeah, we hit the 40s earlier today, but it was foggy and frosty this morning, and now it's actually that way again tonight. Now it's 27 here.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's warm for this time. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be closer to 50 tomorrow, so
Wow.
it's awesome. Yeah, for this time of year, that's awesome weather. I'm not complaining at all. Might get the car wash at the car wash. So, White Chocolate, hello. Sleepy, check your email if you want to join. Well, I'll give it a few more minutes. What we'll probably do tonight, I'll get that started. I'll share with you my personal thoughts. And then, we'll let Tim and Joe, whatever they think they have to say, and people in the chat. But it all started with an email this past week that got me thinking. So, what happened? We lost Tim?
Yeah, it looks like.
Tim, will you just use your freaking Pixel book and forget the rest of the Linux stuff? You've had the worst luck. Just use the Pixel book. It's perfect.
I don't know. It must be a Minnesota thing.
I guess it is, yeah. Sleepy, you're getting the dinner ready for the wifey. Okay. No problem. No problem. Don't want to come in between love and romance and dinner, so. But,
There's Ricky.
yeah, highs around 50 tomorrow, so I'll take it. No rain tomorrow. I don't want no rain. Anyway. There's Ricky. Da, 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 da.
What's up, all?
What's up, Stevie boy? We lost Tim, so if he can come back.
His fry pan dropped.
I guess he accidentally, smacked it with his computer or laptop, whatever he's using.
Yeah, Joe, you were saying it's foggy up by you? Yeah, it's foggy down here in Chicago, boy.
Matter of fact, my wife and daughters and daughter-in-law, they do a girls thing every year. They just drove down there today. It says freezing fog. That's what it says here right now. And it's supposed to be 43 tomorrow and then drop in the 30s again and back up. I don't know. So this, like you said, Carmen, this time of year, that's not bad.
Mm-mm. Considering we could be in the midst of a snowstorm.
Yeah.
So hello, Horace, CJ, welcome.
The last few nights here in Florida, a cold front's been coming through here.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 70?
Yeah.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Ricky, I'm going to give you the same response I give my father. Let me get the recorder going over here. He lives on Florida. He could play as I go. Yeah. Okay.
Violins. Da, 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 da. Sleepy needs to increase the wifey social credit score fast. Oh. Maybe that'll be a topic for a different night. Anyway.
And
CJ.
Tim, did you plug in your frying pan?
Plug it in. Why do I need the electric one tonight?
could be. Electric shock treatment.
Da, 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 da.
That's Tim. He's always on the ball.
I don't have an electric one real close by. I got a regular one. I got a big saucepan that'll probably make more of a kabong sound when it careens off of my skull.
Sauce, yeah.
That's the way to go.
All right, so I think we can get started because Tim has to go soon.
Yeah.
He needs to wake up to go to his private Learjet at 3 and fly someone overseas or something. All All right, again, welcome all. Sorry for starting late. So, yes, I am still dressed in my dress shirt. All I need is a bow tie and I'm good to go. But censorship, I got a couple emails this past week. One email was actually from Amazon saying, hey, you have a chance to win a brand new Hyundai Santa Fe. Oh, I thought, no, I don't fit in that thing. But I thought, no, maybe if I can win it, I'll sell it and then take the money to upgrade the office. So I applied. I'll let you guys know if I win. But that's not the topic of this. There was another email, and it was from Patreon. And it says here that Patreon is banning alt-right content creators from earning money on its platform. Some guy named Milo Yiannopoulos. Anyway, you guys may have heard of him. You know, every time I see alt-right or alt-left, it's like, are these alternate human beings? Are they not real? You know, for some reason that pops into my head. So I looked this guy up and find out what's going on. I guess they're banning a bunch of people. So I looked him up, some other people, like including Alex Jones, and then I got the picture. It's basically non-user-friendly conversation, hate speech, stuff to me that just doesn't make any sense. It just sounds stupid. And I was thinking to myself, are these speakers really that dumb that they believe what they're saying? Now, it could be. But then I thought about it, and I thought, you know, I think they're smart. I think they know exactly what they're doing, and they're doing it because
Money.
it gets them a crowd, it gets them a paycheck. It's big money, sometimes in the millions, and why should they censor themselves? And if you don't like it, you can just move along. On the broader scale of this censorship thing, those of you who have guns, what prevents you from leaving your house and randomly shooting people? Driving your car, what prevents you, what is stopping you from running a red light? Have you thought about that? What is stopping me from spewing foul language on this channel? What is stopping you? What is censoring yourself from random shooting? What is censoring yourself from running a red light or a stop sign? What is censoring me, preventing me from, you know, using language that would not be appropriate for, you know, for this channel? So is censorship good or bad? It's both, right? Why do we not do the things that we do? Because we know deep in our hearts, based on how we were raised, or maybe principles of the Bible, or maybe you're a Christian, why do you censor yourself? Why do you choose to walk away from a fight? I did many times. Yeah, I could have got involved and kicked someone's, you know what, but I'm like, why? Why? You know, there are times when I go running, jogging, I'll do some shadow boxing, some kung fu kicking, and this and that. Now, someone who doesn't know me might say, oh, what a mean person. He should not be doing that. You know, well, I should not be, quote unquote, censored from doing that exercise. However, my right to swing my fist ends where your face begins. It's a famous quote from a Supreme Court justice, I think, years ago. So is censorship good or bad? It's both. I guess it depends on your core values. It depends on your sense of humanity. It depends on what do you do or say that can contribute to the common good of humanity. And we've talked about this before. So when I see social platforms like Patreon or Twitter and people getting, oh, it's censorship, what's this country coming to? Time out. Time out. When they are, quote, stopping someone from saying something, it has to be for a freaking reason. It's not because, ooh, a bad word slip or they told a dirty joke, right? It has to be more than that. So when you have a certain person or a certain group pitting a group of people based on their religious beliefs or political beliefs, pitting one group of people against another, that makes absolutely no sense. One of my favorites was, oh, look at America and the morally corrupt left, as opposed to the morally corrupt right. You know, so obviously nobody likes censorship as a whole, and I get that. But When human beings do or say things that does not contribute to the common good of man, regardless of your religious beliefs or political affiliation, when none of us can add something to humanity, something that is positive, loving, kind. You know, tonight I had dinner, friends, family. I mean, you could just feel the warmth and the kindness and the love. You know, there's no need for censorship there. You know, Christmas music, you know, food, drinks, it's awesome, you know. But when you have speakers who probably, like Tim said, solely for the sense of money, and they know what they're doing, to blurt out this garbage, and we all know what it is. We all have a sense of right or wrong. I don't want to hear this stuff. Oh, well, censorship is wrong, Toss. You're right. I agree. Let me go to your house and punch you in the face a couple times. Don't censor me now. But that's wrong. Why is that wrong? Because all of us have a sense of good or bad, of good or evil, of right or wrong. Now, if you want to call that censorship, heck, people can say, well, the Ten Commandments is censorship. I suppose in a way it is. But is that good or bad? Anyway, that's what popped into my head. Like I said, I didn't really come prepared with notes and other bullet points, as it were. But all this started with that email this past week from Patreon, and then I realized, yeah, they should have banned them and some other people, you know, men or women, who spew hate language. That they do it not as a joke or as a comedian, oops, it was a mistake. They do it because either they believe what they are saying, which when you look at it makes no sense, or they know exactly what they're doing, so they can drive their new Ferraris and travel the world, and they don't care what you think. So I think they know exactly what they're doing. Those are my thoughts. Now I open this up to the panel.
Oh, you scared Tim.
Tim says, I'm out of here, pal.
Well, today's world obviously is a lot more politically correct. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's politically incorrect.
Yeah.
Because they're carrying it way too far. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of the
Yeah.
example, like even the Christmas songs now, they're taking. It's like since when did I've said this before? Since when did we get so sensitive to everything that everything offends everybody? I mean, we grew up as kids, and nobody looked at Frosty the Snowman as being an offensive thing, but now it is. Or Grandma got run over by a reindeer. They're kind of, you looked at them as humorous or whatever. It's almost like, in my opinion, things are being taken to a level that it shouldn't be, that, it's like reading into every little thing to find everything that's wrong with it, rather than trying to find out what the true meaning of what it was intended for. And I feel like we're all being extremely censored to the point that it's like, this is supposed to be a free country. Yes. Does freedoms mean you have the right to, slur names at people or whatever? I mean, you can, if you're frustrated with somebody and you want to rattle something under your breath or whatever, that's up to you. But when you start doing derogatory things specifically for hatred and hurt and things like that, that's another matter. But when we were kids growing up, and I think in bigger cities it's probably more so true than maybe even smaller towns, and maybe I'm ignorant to that because I didn't grow up in a small town. I grew up in a big city, and I now live in a smaller town. The example of that is you could tell ethnic jokes left and right and nobody get offensive. I've said that, I think, in the past, where it's how it's presented. You tell an ethnic joke towards somebody and being humorous, and it's taken that way. But if you say it in an angry way with, different type of choice words that might just enough to turn it, then that same meaning now suddenly is offensive, because it's how you put it. But when I moved up here where I'm at now, I didn't dare tell ethnic jokes because people up here just don't seem to, or we're not as welcoming to it or whatever. Even my, it's funny, even my son-in-laws, the nationality difference. We horse around once in a while, but I'm very careful about when I do that, because It's not something they're used to. Every once in a while, they'll take a shot across the bow with the Italian thing, and then I give them a little something back, and it's done. You know, where growing up in Chicago, you always did that. You know, I never thought twice about it because it was kind of like a natural thing. But today's world, you don't dare. You don't dare do that. You know, it's like you don't know what to do or think anymore. You know, we grew up with, you know, a pledge of allegiance, you know, one nation under God. Now all of a sudden you can't say that. Well, you know, I already want to take it off of the currency. I mean, when did this become such an issue? It's been around for how many hundreds of years? You know, I mean, it's getting to the point where I feel you get to the point, I think, where you want to say, you know what, the hatred with you, I'm going to do what I always did. I know right from wrong. I know when you're overstepping bounds and not, but at the same token, I'm not going to have the things that I grew up with as a kid that didn't mold me any different than anybody else. I'm still a caring person. I still paid it forward today when I drove through one of the drive-thrus at a fast food place. I still think I have a kind heart. You know, it didn't change me that way. So why should I change now at, you know, almost 60 years old, you know?
I guess there's controversy. There's echoes. Someone. You got your speakers on. Baby, It's Cold Outside. The classic, I guess, Dean Martin song, whoever sang it first. Baby, It's Cold Outside, a Christmas song. Now I guess there's some words in there that can be interpretive. So I read the lyrics. I get it, but come on, Baby, It's Cold Outside. My friend says, if you think that's bad, try this one, Baby, It's Warm Inside. Haha. But I'm like, and I think Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer can be a term. Like, but okay, all right, that's a bit, but I would not consider that hate speech. You know, visceral, just stupid, makes no sense. Songs like that, that's stretching it. When we see and hear hate speech, we know what it is. We don't have to stretch it out. We know what they're saying, you know.
You know, I might not be the smartest guy in the room, but I think what I've learned in my, 48 years now being on God's green earth, and I might be wrong, but I tend to think that the more entitled a person is, the thinner their skin is. Maybe I'm off there. Maybe I'm, I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my, you know what. But the more entitled a person is, it's almost as though they never, if they're pampered, they're going to end up entitled, and it's kind of like they never fell down and skidded their knee, and just had their mom and dad sit on the porch and let them learn what it is to actually get hurt. You know what I mean? And again, maybe I'm way off here, but the more people I've seen, whether it's been, children of friends of mine, or maybe, and I'm not trying to be judgmental on a certain age group here, but I tend to see a lot of people under the age of about 25 or so, just really walking through life seeming like they're entitled to this, they're entitled to that. And you tend to not be able to have a lot of fun. At least I can't have a lot of fun around people like that, because I'm a lot like Joe. You know, I'm from Minnesota. I grew up in Minnesota. I've been here my entire life. And you know what? I don't think there's been a single month since I understood the premise of a joke and a punchline. There hasn't been one single month that's gone by that I haven't heard a Swede joke or a Norwegian joke, or in some cases like Czech jokes or a Polish joke. And a lot of the times when I love those jokes. I have no prejudice against anybody because of anything that they are or who they are, or who they worship or who they don't worship. But a lot of times when I tell those jokes, I tell a Swedish joke because I'm a Swede. You know, I'm majority Swedish.
Wait, there are Swedish jokes? That boggles my mind. No, but.
Two Swedes walk in the bar. That's all that I know.
Here's the only Swedish joke I will ever say on this channel. Do you know why Swedish people don't eat M&Ms? They're too hard to peel. Okay, and I got told you see, and you guys
Okay.
you guys are laughing, and that's the thing.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it.
So there's a Norwegian in the room. No, but see that's just it. I got told that joke when I was probably 7 years old, and I remember it plainly because I was sitting at the family farm eating a bag of M&Ms, and my grandfather told me that, and I sat there like, I don't. What do you mean? But he kind of explained it to me. He kind of walked me through it, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, that is funny. But
You know, sometimes around the holidays, I'll do this visceral joke. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. It's a joke. Okay? White. Okay. Now, if I sat here and said, okay, man, holidays, you need to pop Tulu, some fentanyl, cocaine, you spread the cheer to all the neighbors. If I did that, okay, that's crossing the line, you know. But a joke is a joke, and then you move on, you know.
the thing
I
is,
totally
if you go
agree.
if you go to a coffee shop nowadays,
Right.
and this is my perception because I don't hang out in coffee shops. But when I was a kid growing up, we used to go to a cafe for breakfast. When I spent time up on the family farm, went to a cafe in town to eat breakfast, and there were tables of older men, generally men. Every so often, one of them would bring their wife, or a couple of them bring their wife, and they'd be sitting around and they'd be talking and they'd be laughing. It's because they were telling those types of like Joe was talking about, those types of jokes.
Right.
Now, the few times that I walk into, I don't hang around in a coffee shop, but I walk in to get a coffee and then I leave right away. There's these groups of, say, college-age students, and they're sitting there, and they just look like they're so dang serious about this, that, or the other thing, a cause of some type, and having some type of a disagreement or a spirited discussion, that they don't have any time to joke. They don't pull any time into their life to just relax, kick back, have a laugh, and just have fun.
You know, I went to a function tonight. There's a friend of mine from Pittsburgh. He owns his own business. He's done very well, married, and you know, he travels here, Ohio, with this band. He gives out free CDs, and he does it because he enjoys it. He loves to sing. He loves what he do after a day at work or a week at work. He just wants to chill with friends and family. You know, he walked up to my mom and here's a CD for you. My mom was like, "Oh, thank you." You know, there's no substitute for that kindness, love, you know, human interaction, and you really can't put a price on that. Versus this worthless, well, I guess it ain't worthless for the speakers. They make a lot of money, but worthless hate speech, garbage that makes absolutely zero sense. I read something today or yesterday where a lot of churchgoers were feeling disillusioned with the church because I guess you had pastors, leaders of the church, saying something like, "Oh, it's a miracle that God brought us this president or that president." You know, one of these days, that the next pastor who says that should get a call from Jesus Christ and say, "Yoo-hoo, have you heard of me?" You know, it's stupid. It's pure stupidity. They obviously never read the Bible, or they read it and they have selective memory. You know, they forgot the passage where Jesus says, "I will not run for office." I'm just paraphrasing, because my kingdom is not of this earth. But when they say God brought us this person to run, you know, politics, I'm like, okay, I can see why I would walk out. I wouldn't even say, just buy, just walk out and never go back again, because that's the wrong message to tell, you know, your flock or kids or adults. It's bad, you know. But like Tim said, that kind of speech, that kind of garbage is big money in it. You know.
I don't mean to break your train of conversation there, Carmine. Vince has said something that I think is kind of the premise of what we're talking about.
Sure, yeah.
Vince says, my observation is, where have all the average people gone? The trouble is, there's the loony fringe these days that tend to have the loudest voice. And isn't that really sums it up? Vince, very, very well called. Very well called.
Well, the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah. And and when it comes to the media, the most raunchy, and this is just me, in my opinion, the most raunchy, the most controversial, the most vulgar speaking gets the money.
Well, you know, this past midterm election, to me, it was nothing but a sleeping giant has awakened. The independents and or the people who chose not to vote said enough. You know, they went out there and said, now, for better or for worse, we'll see what happens. But they said enough of this, you know. And that you have to believe that there's more people out there with common sense versus the fringe, as it were, you know. But, you know, censorship. If we didn't need censorship, then God would not have given us the 10 Commandments. He gave us the 10 Commandments because, as a whole, human beings basically suck at governing ourselves. And we've proven it with wars, you know, with incivility, hate speech, you know, year after year, for hundreds of years. I don't think mankind has ever enjoyed, modern civilization has ever enjoyed 100 years of peace. 10 years of peace as a whole, I don't think it's ever happened. And why? Because we suck at censoring ourselves. Hence, we have the Bible or whatever thing you believe in or whatever commandments you have, but they're there for a reason. You know, so getting back to these social platforms like Patreon or Twitter, when they say, you know, these people are being banned, they're not doing it for fun, because when they do that, they're probably losing money. But someone there says, you know what, enough is enough. We don't need this kind of vulgar language that pits one group of people, that pits humans against humans, strictly for the point of selling something or promoting an ideology or something that is not conducive to the common good of mankind. And that's what I get out of that. Now, can censorship go too far? Yeah, because we are an imperfect race, imperfect humans. But once again, what is censoring you from running a red light? What is censoring you from not shooting people at random? Because you have a sense of right or wrong, don't you? That's how I see it. So
here's your ultimate problem, though, is that who are you to determine what is that morality? And that's the thing, because they're saying they're banning these far right guys. Are they banning far left guys, who, by the way, are infinitely more toxic than far right guys? Look at the walk away movement. The walk away movement is young people who were raised in a liberal viewpoint and have observed the liberal end. They've observed what they say is that the liberal left and the far left, they just simply become hate mobs. And the people on the right, they can actually have an intellectual conversation with and actually want to discuss things. And looking at the group of people Patreon just banned doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a political thing. It's not a free speech thing. Because you keep using the example, what prevents me from going out and shooting someone? What prevents me from going to your house and punching you in the face? Well, that is an infringement on your physical person. That's an infringement on the laws of the society. But to say, I disagree with this, therefore it's hate speech, therefore it's banned from our platform, you are silencing a conversation, and the conversation needs to be had. Because all of these guys have very good, valid points. And I don't know as much about Milo. There's been some questionable things in his background, but really nothing that he did on Patreon was bad. The one that baffles me to no end is Sargon, because there was nothing in that guy's stance that had anything that was a bannable thing. This is a guy who is a English gentleman who goes to university campuses and engages in real, honest debate. It's just people don't like him because he's very good at what he does, and it's hard to win an argument against him. And so when the hate mob can't win an argument against him, they just scream, hate mob, hate mob, hate mob. And what happened is it was a concentrated effort, people highlighting the worst parts of all of these guys, sending it to Patreon, that caused Patreon to buckle and decide to ban them. And then they just said, well, anyone far right, we're just banning. Are they banning the far left, which are infinitely more toxic people?
Well,
the answer is no, they're not.
Any kind of language from any side, left or right, that does not contribute to the common good of mankind should be banned, in my opinion. Left or right. Now, I didn't look at the left side. I just got that email, these alt-right people.
We can't just raise a question. What do you mean by it doesn't contribute to the good of mankind? Once you start saying this word doesn't contribute to mankind, now you're having now you're in the middle of this, because now it comes to this point where you say, sure, there are certain words we don't necessarily want to say, and even that's like, dude, I can say the F, the S, I can say every one of George Carlin's 7 words, but if I say the N word, this channel's done. Mm-hmm. I mean, holy crap, that's insanity.
I would prefer none of those words if I had a choice, by the way. Don't say any of those words.
Yeah, but the point is, in our modern society, we can go away with all of George Carlin's 7 words you can never say on television, but we can't go around and say otherwise benign things. It's to the point where some people are offended by the word black anymore. It's like, what do you say? And it's just like, how many times a young person said to me in describing a person, they say, well, I don't mean to sound racist, but he's black. If you were to ask me who somebody is and I wanted to describe him and pick him out of a crowd, I would identify those key things. I wouldn't say he's a N-word, but I'd say he's a black guy.
No, I totally agree. That black guy, white guy, it doesn't offend me personally,
Correct.
But there again, that gets back to what I was saying, Tom.
Exactly.
That gets back to what I was saying. People, and I'm, some people are entitled, and they have a very good head on their shoulders. And I'm not trying to pick out people who come from privilege. I'm not trying to pick out people that come from, say, a more sheltered upbringing. I'm not dragging those people out in the public here. What I'm saying is that the people that are entitled and think that entitlement is just a way of life, and that's the way that they are able to not only run their life, but also the lives of the people around them. They have very thin skin. Very, very, very thin skin. And the problem with that is that whenever that starts, whatever generation that started within a family or within a group of people, a demographic of people, it's the snowball rolling down the hill. It starts this big, and by the time it gets to the bottom of a hill, it's this big. And that hill could be 5 minutes long, or it could be 500 years long. It's really disappointing. Now, the one thing with the banning of the people that Toss was talking about, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think a majority of them were political.
It seemed that way from what
political commentators.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand what Tom is saying. In it that, and I mince no meat. I mince nothing when it comes to my standings. I'm a fairly conservative guy. Does that mean I'm a Republican? No. But in a lot of senses, really no. But I'm a pretty conservative guy. And the thing that I have a problem with is if there's going to be any type of, censorship on behalf of a social platform, are they being equal? Forget about the conversation that's being had. Why don't we look more at how the conversation is being had? What language is being used? What premise is being used? Mm-hmm. What is being used that is deemed censorable or banning in the case of Patreon? Mm-hmm. Let's look at it as a whole. Pull the politics out of it. Unfortunately, nowadays, it doesn't seem like we can go anywhere once we get 5 feet out of our front door, we're surrounded by the political crap that's going on right now.
I had a former governor's wife come up to me. She says, you should run for office. I took it as a compliment. If I did run for office, I would never in a million years say, oh, the Democrats ruined this country, or the Republicans ruined this country, or the independents, or the gays, or the blacks. You want to know what's ruining this country? The defect of humanity.
Yeah.
Right? That's why we have the Ten. That's what's ruining this country. Everybody, as a whole, well, maybe not everybody has ruined this country because we are defective as human beings. That's why we have the 10 Commandments. The 10 Commandments are not open for debate. Now, if you don't believe in God and all that, that's fine. I wouldn't not think any less of the person. I get it, but even if that person doesn't believe in God, just reads the Ten Commandments for what they are, it's a pretty cool set of commandments. I never met Jesus Christ, but he sounded like a cool dude, man. You know, that doesn't mean I'm an extreme Democrat or extreme Republican. Maybe I'm just an extreme human who believes in doing the right thing, what I perceive to be the right thing. I guess the point I'm getting at is I don't like extremist views on any side, right or left. Everybody is entitled to throw a punch or to shadow box, but your right to throw that punch should end at that person's face. Of course, unless you're boxing.
How would you define extremist speech?
I've seen stuff on YouTube that's saying like the liberals have morally bankrupt this country. Now you could say, well, then the other side is saying the same thing, but to me that makes no sense because any one of us is capable of doing a lie.
So what's extreme though? What's extreme about saying the liberals have? I mean, the liberals say the conservatives have, the conservatives say the liberals have all day long. Mm-hmm. If you ban everybody from simply talking, nobody's allowed to say it.
That's fine. A debate like that, that should not be censored. But when you start going over the top and saying, well, you S-bag piece of blah, 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 and you keep repeating that over and over to the point where not only do you not, but you're just doing it to make a paycheck. That's not contributing.
Well, I would disagree that they're doing it just to make a paycheck. Because everybody who gets that passionate, they're passionate regardless if the money's there. But B, the only group that does that, the group that does that the hardest is on the left, not on the right. There's people on the right that do that. And I don't know enough about Milo to comment. I know Sargon does not do that at all. And he is the biggest one among this group that they have banned.
Well,
and so that's the thing. Gotcha.
You mentioned, we're talking politically correct, and this coming from Chicago. Like I mentioned before about ethnic jokes or ethnic slurs. You could say the same phrase to somebody, and again, how it's presented and the demeanor is whether it's taken as funny or derogatory. Mm-hmm. The thing I have most issues with, if I'm going to be, or the attempt is going to be to censor me from saying a specific word, you guys have mentioned they always want to say the N-word. Mm-hmm. Well, then don't make it a double standard. I'm offended to hear it if I'm that person, but yet I could say it all I want. That doesn't work that way. If it's so offensive to come out of somebody else's mouth,
it shouldn't come out of yours.
Why is it not as offensive for you to say it, or the people of your heritage to say it? That's the problem I have. I'm not trying. These get to be touchy subjects.
Sure.
But to me, if we're going to truly be censored because something is so horrible that they can get people's jobs, they can get lawsuits won over them and everything else, and yet the same person that's winning all of these or complaining about all this are the biggest offenders. That's the problems I have. That's where censorship is. There's no balance to it. Then, you know what I mean? You don't censor to suit your needs. Mm-hmm.
Or
censor across the board, or you don't censor at all.
You shouldn't censor to fit your opinion either.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Needs are one thing, and I get what you're saying, Joe. Needs are one thing. That's realistic. The thing that really yanks me the wrong way and really bad and really hard is when censorship or banning or stifling. And stifling I just see as a lesser form of censorship. Mm-hmm. If that is done to suit one's opinion, that drives me up a wall, because there's no reason whether we are sitting down as Carmine has said many times, as realistic adults from the human race, regardless of what our political leanings are, our spiritual leanings are, if we can't sit down and have an honest to God, decent conversation with opposition and agreement, and coming at the end of it with you're entitled to what you think, I'm entitled to what I think. That's cool. Let's go have a beer.
Right.
If we can't sit down and have conversations like that as human
Right.
beings, all is
And that-
all is lost.
And
Well, the
I,
other thing that doesn't make sense. Okay, something happens where a situation that is bad. So, how does breaking the law correct it when you go out and protest over it and you stop traffic on highways and everything else? You know, to me, these are the things that I have problems with. You know, nobody is above the law or should be breaking the law and doing things like that. And again, how much falls under the heading of censorship, religious beliefs? I mean, we've become a society of labels instead of a society of people living together. It's like you said, you know,
Right.
I was raised where you had your differences. You went out and, pardon the phrase, you beat the crap out of each other until you got it out of your system. And then you wound up being sometimes the best of friends. Sometimes maybe not. But they're afraid to let kids get their hands dirty or feet dirty, get in the mud, whatever, get hurt. You can't have monkey bars. That's another phrase. Is that offensive now? That's what we used to call them when we grew up. You hung off them. Well, the reality of it is now they're worried about these kids falling and getting hurt. You can't play dodgeball. It's like, oh my God, when are these kids going to learn to be kids?
Yeah.
You know, the skin, you're right when you say the skin is getting thinner all the time. And I feel sorry for these kids in today's world, because now we've got how far do we go with this? Now you've got multiple different gender signs. Where do you go? Which door do you pick? You know, you talk about a confused society that's going to be raised here. It's like, oh my God. I'm confused, but what are my grandkids going to have to deal with when they're coming up?
And here's the thing that I just don't get, Joe. I mean, you and I and Carmine and Steve, you're about a half a generation beyond me. Ricky, you're a little bit younger, and Tom is a little bit younger. But I mean, let's face it, we're all of us here are within a half a generation of each other, within reason. Okay? Right. I would tend to say that all of our parents, if they're still with us, are somewhere between 55 and 85, maybe 90. Okay? So we're pretty dang close. When and maybe this is a question and maybe this doesn't hit on the censorship so much, but when did people stop caring about allowing people to just live their lives? When did this mentality come up where, you know, you're an SOB if you don't vote for this person, or you're a bigger SOB if you voted for that person? If you don't have a college degree, you're going to be a ditch digger. You know, all of that crap. When did people stop caring about other people and started putting them in compartments based on who they voted for, who they worship or don't worship, for that matter? When did we as a human race stop caring about fellow man? When did that happen? Because it's certain, and the thing is I don't get it, and it's hard for me to see it because I did not grow up with influences in my life, be it parents or grandparents or very, very close friends of the family. I didn't grow up in a world where that was even a remote thought. You did what was right. You helped people when you could help. If you needed help, you asked for it. You did what was right. And yeah, we can sit down and we can have argument upon argument upon argument. And like Tom asked, what do you consider extremist? You know what? We can have argument upon argument about the meaning of a word. And sometimes it's a very valid argument. I get it. But this boils down to, when did we stop caring about the people that are next to us on the bus, the people that we walk past on the street, the people sitting in the pew next to us at our house of worship? When did we quit caring about other people?
But even that, Tim, you know, even as much as I said, you know, talking about some of the things that we've experienced, even if you had a situation where you offended somebody or you were offended by somebody or whatever, when push came to shove, and if that same person was hurting or in need or whatever, all that was put aside and forgotten about. You know, I've said this over and over again. It's really sad that what brings everybody together in this country in general, I'm assuming it's the same thing in other parts of the world too, is national tragedies. They don't care what your political beliefs are, the color of your skin, what your religion is, nothing. Now all of a sudden we're all one.
Or watching the Hallmark Channel. There's no politics. Yeah.
See, the thing is that if we don't care about people, regardless of who they are, if we quit caring about people, or before we care about a person, we put some type of a prerequisite, or we have a checklist. Hey, before I can care about this person, they have to be a like ideology of spirituality. They have to be a like ideology of political leaning. They have to be a like ideology of this, a like ideology of that. Okay, you've passed my test. I'm going to care for you now. You know what? So I'm sorry to say this, but that's a bunch of BS. We need to care about other people, regardless of who in the heck they are. We cannot turn a blind eye to that. And even if they're people that are part of a group of people that maybe as a nation we frown upon, you know what? I know where I know where I worship. I know who I worship, and my biggest commandment is love one another as I have loved you.
Over the years, there were times at work where I could tell that the boss or someone was having a bad day, maybe family life, the wife, whatever, and I would constantly tell them, look, if you want to use me as a punching man, you can throw every name in the book. I will not take it personal. It's impossible to insult a New Yorker because I've heard it all before. Let me have it, And sometimes they will let me have it, and then apologize later. But I said, and I did that because I get it. We're a human. Sometimes we just need to let it out. Now, I knew when he or she said that, they didn't mean it. They just letting it go like a form of catharsis. I get it, But you're right. When we start to lose our humanity, I think we all fail ourselves. On my channel, I don't allow foul language. Tom doesn't allow it, so we censor that. Is that good or bad? Well, in that case, I think it's good because we want to have a nice, entertaining, enlightening conversation. Hopefully without the use of foul language. Not based on left or right issues, based on friendship, humanity, communication, the sharing of knowledge, kindness and all that, So I guess getting back to the question, is censorship good or bad? I think it's both. I think depending how and when it's used,
And the type of censorship.
Yep.
The thing is, though, is that going back to this issue with Patreon, is that they are censoring people based on their ideology. They're not censoring people who are jumping on and saying, F and S and all this other stuff. They're censoring ideologies. And that is, if you want to know when we lost our humanity, when did we lose the ability to love one another? It's when we lost the ability to understand one another. And you can't understand one another when you cannot talk about what's in your heart. And that's the problem with what Patreon is doing, because they're not censoring people because they drop bad words and F-bombs and this and that. They're censoring people based upon the fact that they don't like the ideology that they're saying, and that's in and of itself a problem.
Well, I didn't look into the whole thing, Tom, so I just look at those particular examples.
I did, and that's what I'm talking about. I this past week, I've watched tons and tons and tons of discussions on both sides of the aisle about this, and it boils down to if they were see it's like YouTube has this thing, like in theory we're supposed to be more demonetized if we drop F-bombs left and right, but we can all point to huge massive channels that are F-bombing left and right and are fully monetized. Well, to say that we don't allow that non-family friendly stuff on our channels, yes, is a degree of censorship based upon we want to have a channel that is based on that is based on a mutual respect, but we're not censoring someone's ideas. If I come on, whether this channel or that channel or any one of my channels, and I just dislike your ideology, and so I just ban you, block you, delete you, that's censorship. But if I'm saying, hey, we just don't allow that type of language because that type of language in and of itself is an issue, that's not what they're banning based on. They're banning based on ideology. And when people can't talk about their ideology, we have no basis to come together and discuss anything, and that's when we start losing our humanity.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Alex Jones, I think he was banned off of Twitter.
He was banned off of everything. He was completely deplatformed.
Okay. I just heard the Twitter thing or saw it. That was the last thing that I saw. I guess I used to go to his channel just to see what he had to say. I think what crossed the line for me is when he said that the Sandy Hook shooting was all a fake. It was a setup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's
That was
distasteful. I'll agree with that. That's distasteful. But
I think that's what did it for Twitter anyway. But
I'm not in any way, shape, or form with what you said, Toss, that Alex Jones said. I am no way endorsing what he said. It was a tragedy. It is a day that I think I will remember the rest of my life, and I remember it every day that my grandkids step into a classroom. But that's his opinion, right? Right? I mean, that really is his opinion. What right does anybody have to say you're not entitled to your opinion? Okay, and I know this may anger people, regardless of what comes out of this guy's mouth, whether it's a string of BS 10 miles long, or it is anything else between here and the moon. Yeah, and as Tom said, yeah, that's distasteful. It really is, and that's up for me to decide whether or not it's distasteful. And in my opinion, yes, it is distasteful. But again, in my opinion, that was distasteful. Other people,
in fairness, let's put it this way: there are opinions. It's the knowing right and wrong and respect, and there's opinions that
are hurtful,
that can be more harmful than others. And when you're talking about children and that kind of thing, and especially doing it in a public format, that is pushing the line as far as I'm concerned. And I get what your point is about saying it's his opinion, but if I have an opinion that I know is going to, be highly offensive to you or set you off, does that mean it's okay for me to go out and say it just because it's my opinion? There's that fine line there where you have to know when to shut your mouth and keep your opinion to yourself too.
And you know what and I agree with that, Joe. And you know what that means? That means being a decent human being.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what I said: caring about the people that are around you, regardless of who they are. And if I say something to somebody and I offend them, I'll be the first one to apologize.
Right.
I will be. And God knows I've had to put my foot in my mouth. We're all grown men here. I think we've all had to put our foot in our mouth at one time or another.
Let's face it: how many of these people that are celebrity status of some level do things for the shock factor to boost their ratings? Just for the shock factor alone, even though they know it's wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that to me, how many people, if you polled majority of the people in this country about those incidents, how many do you think you'd find that would have they have a dark spot on their heart because it hurts so bad to have seen that, and they don't want to hear something that's going to, open the wounds again, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, with censorship too, you invite someone into your house, right? You set the rules of what you want in your house. I don't want evil or hate. I had an uncle who was gay, but overly prejudiced. And I had never invited him over to my house because I didn't want that in here. Does that mean I'm censoring? No, it's my house, my house, my rules kind of thing, right? I want it comfortable and safe for people to come and talk. But if I go to your house and you're kind of like that, I might not like it. Well, who am I to say in your house to do it? I would then have the choice of never going back,
Exactly.
We all have the choice to change the channel, stop watching, but my God, we got to get so up, our panties in a bunch because this person is just so goddamn, excuse my language, sorry, so awful that we have no choice but to kind of like scream about it. Change the channel, we stop watching it. And that's where we have the power to take care of some of these people. If we're going to be in a free society, yes, we do, like Tim says, we have to have free speech. I might not believe what you have to say, but I believe you have a right to say it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, really saying it to hurt people and really nasty. I mean, I don't believe in that. But then again, change the channel.
But how many people too do things, and then there's the old phrase, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. It's kind of the same thing. It's still easier to apologize for something after you've done the offensive thing, knowing it's offensive, but not knowing how far the response is going to go to it. So I don't know. Censorship is like a lot of other topics. It's getting to be such a touchier thing, I think, because of the politically correct world.
I suppose if somebody says something and you're not sure if it's censored, should it be censored or not, I guess you could use the Ten Commandments as a guideline.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Very true.
There you go. I mean, if I was to walk into a Republican rally, and the guy running for office says, "Democrats suck, you should never be friends with them," I would walk out. Vice versa if I went to the other side, because it makes no sense.
But yeah, but see that's a sick Carmine. If you went into a meeting, and they said Democrats suck,
mm-hmm.
you would get up and you would walk out. But you're the type of guy that if you walked in to a room and they said people of this political ideology suck,
mm-hmm.
you would turn around and walk out too, regardless of your political ideology,
mm-hmm.
because you just don't think people should be treated that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
right. Based on how I would want to be treated and listened to and respected. Right. Right.
Yep. And even if I get this gut feeling that with a guy like you and I have talked offline. I understand kind of where you are politically. We're not going to discuss that here.
Yeah.
But if you walked into a place where it fit with your ideology, but the only thing I wanted to do is say how much this person sucks, that person sucks, that person sucks, and that person sucks,
mm-hmm.
you would say, you know what, the hell with this, and you would get up and you would walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're there to be a part of a common good or a bigger cause other than yourself. Therefore, why am I going to hang around and listen to this garbage?
I remember years ago, there's a friend of mine who's a Republican. I vote Democrat, and I told him, you know what? I think I might go to that rally. I like what that guy has to say. And my friend says, yeah, but he's a Republican. And you're a Democrat. So what? What's that got to do with the price of eggs? What's that got to do with fair taxes? What's that got to do with anything? I caught him off guard. Of course I would go, because I like some of his policies. Not because he's a Republican, because of the individual, because of what I think his beliefs were. Or maybe it was him or her, I can't remember. That's why. It's not because, he's a Republican or a Democrat or independent or this and that. What do you believe in, ma'am, sir? What are your values? What do you think is justice? What do you believe in? What is right or wrong to you as a human being? And I think that's why a lot of people are being disillusioned. It seems a lot of people would go in the church nowadays, from what I've read. If Jesus says, my kingdom is not of this earth, I will not run for office, there you go. I'll leave it at that. So, so again, to get back to the question, is it good or bad? Censorship good or bad? It's both. It can be both. It's that simple. So, looking at the comments here real quick. I don't think I missed anything.
Yeah. CJ just ducked out to stuff his yap with a In-N-Out burger and fries, and a Coke.
Oh, that's too liberal for me. I don't know, man. No, just kidding. Maybe there should be a no-party system. I agree.
Well, hey, Steve, CJ's going to be at O'Hare on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Hey,
too bad it's my truck day.
All right, I think I've caught up with the comment. Don't think. Hello, Timo. How are you? See, I need Tom's fire screen tonight. You guys are wrong. Listen to me. You guys suck. What do you mean I'm extreme? That's what I need. Rita, welcome.
Well, the thing is, Toss, there was a good one tonight. I'll tell you that.
I think so.
Which
I
one?
think so.
I think, Tom, it was the last one you did.
Oh yes, the Linux Foundation one.
I don't listen to Tom anytime after about 9 o'clock at night.
It's because Tim has a hard time falling asleep.
Because it just wakes my old rear end up. Tom, I love your stuff. I really do. I love everything. I love a lot of what you do. There's some things I disagree on, but I can't listen to you when I'm going to bed at night, buddy. You
I
wake
don't
me
mind,
up.
man. Just catch him in the morning, you know.
Yeah, because Tim's like, I think I'm in for a nice, quiet evening. Tom comes up. Ah!
Man, oh man. Tom,
anyway.
you got to understand, I'm a 40-year-old man with an enlarged prostate, and I drink a lot of water. The last thing I need to do is have you wake me up in a tear in the middle of the
Okay, here we go. When's the food going to come in? Now we're on the poop subject. When's the food going to come in?
Oh, God.
Well, CJ already.
No, I said prostate.
Well, it's going down that way.
Here I go, demonetized. I'm being censored by YouTube again. I tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, everybody's super quiet.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
You-
Well, now that we solved world peace, I'm glad we had this conversation.
It's a tricky subject. I mean,
Yeah, it is. It is. I think a lot of people are disillusioned in general what's going on in this country, from all sides. And it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. I was watching something last night on Frontline about Dayton, Ohio. Once a bustling community for all people, and then boom, the economy, and then the commentator said something that made sense. Wall Street found labor to be expendable. And that's what happened. That's not a left or a right thing. That's a defect of humanity for all of us. So
Even this tonight, Carm, this is healthy conversation.
Oh, totally.
Try to take a minute, pick your words, make sure you're saying things that hopefully relay your message without offending people. But that's how conversations that are sensitive have to go, and
Right. And we could have this conversation without spewing language that is not necessary.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, Tom had mentioned some channels that are still being monetized. Well, the channels that I've taken a look at that have that what we would deem extreme language, they've done very successful on Patreon, PayPal, and they've been demonetized, and they'll say it. I need your help, thank you, because everything is being demonetized. There's one girl, I guess she's an atheist. I find her refreshing, not because she's an atheist, but because she's honest about herself without being mean. And she survives off of Patreon. I'm not offended. I get it. She has her beliefs. She's comical in some way, but she does it without spewing hate speech like "you suck," "you're no good," or "they're no good." There's no need for that. But she's being demonetized because of her beliefs, and that's wrong. But that being said, then there's other channels that I'm listening to, and I'm like, no, that's not the reality out there. And they've done very well with Patreon, thousands of followers, thousands of dollars a month.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah.
So here's a person, that example, who can't seem to monetize their videos. Mm-hmm. You apparently like the person. YouTube has said you can't monetize them, so now she's relying on Patreon. What happens when Patreon says, that's hate speech, we're just going to get rid of it? What's she going to do? Now you've deplatformed somebody's income. You've taken somebody who has been contributing to society by giving viewpoints, and now Patreon comes up and just says, we don't like your content anymore.
Well, for that specific person, I'm not seeing any hate speech. So if Patreon wants to do that, I would say it was wrong.
That's what I'm saying is that you're trying to define hate speech. The bottom line is in here in America, where Patreon is and where most of us are, I think all of us are right now, there is no such thing as hate speech. Legally, there is no such thing as hate speech. There's hate crime, but there's not hate speech. As defined by the Supreme Court, tried in court, there is no such thing. So now to say we're going to deplatform somebody because of hate speech, you say that person doesn't have hate speech. Does Milo? Does Sarkon? No. They don't have hate speech either.
Well, then where do we draw the line as human beings?
That's what my question is. You draw your line as human beings when you are preventing somebody from talking about ideology if they're just talking about their ideology. It's one thing if you're going up there and saying, we're going to rally this, we're going to get together, and we're going to all bring explosives and go and throw them at some building, whatever. That crosses a line because now you're inciting an actual action. These people are not inciting an actual action. These people are saying, think of it from this perspective. Think of it from this way. But the problem is that their opponents, the reason they're banning the far right is because the far left does not like the far right and is using whatever they possibly can to deplatform the far right. But the far right is actually the one that wants to have the conversation more often than not. And I'm generalizing a little bit there. But that's the bottom line, is that this person that you're talking about, they could simply be deplatformed because once they are starting to erode in, they will continue to erode in. There will be a point in time when you are too conservative for the people calling for blood, and Patreon could turn you off as well. That's the concern.
I think in today's world, I think that line of conservative, liberal, I think that's been blurred so much. I don't even know what that freaking means anymore. I'll be quite honest.
Yeah.
You know,
and you've got to be a player in the field to understand it.
Right.
Well, the other thing too, you have to remember, and I hate to say this, and I'm not saying that this justifies things by any means. You're on YouTube, you're using Patreon, whatever you're using, it's their sandbox. So basically, if you can't generate an income from it, then you need to find other means. Maybe it's an independent website, which you can understand that, Tom, and you set up your own payment methods, whatever it is, that kind of thing, and you do your own thing. You know, it's nice to have these platforms to a point, but again, as I said, it's their sandbox. They set it up, and you're using it. And if they decide to change the rules, it's no different than Microsoft and Apple and all the rest of them. That's, you know, it's their tools that you're paying to use, and you have to abide by them, whether you like it or not, or find another means. You know, and that's what it really comes down to, right or wrong. Like I said, I'm not justifying or saying one way or the other, but that's the unfortunate thing when you're using somebody else's tools, creation, whatever you want to call it, platform. You know, I mean, it's just.
I kind of look at it like a Chinese restaurant we have in downtown St. Paul, or I can't remember if it's Japanese or Chinese, but when you go in, you take your shoes off to eat there. You do, and you know what? If you don't want to take your shoes off, house rules. I'm sorry, we're going to be unable to serve you.
Right. Well, that's even here, any restaurant, no shoes, no shirt, no service. You know, I mean.
Well, that's not that unreasonable, in my opinion.
But of course, I take it one step further. I usually just don't wear a pair of pants.
I was going to say, you leave your boxers.
I just wear my Toskini, and they let me in, you know. Cause, anyway.
Hey, Toss. Well, while we're on, I just want to change the topic for 1 second because
all right, go ahead.
I'm always thinking of you, my friend. Always.
Oh, gee, thank you, dear. Yes.
So I'm going to need to screen share for this a second because I found a website that everybody in the chat, as well as all of us, can go to get Carmine his Christmas present. Okay.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
I'm gonna have to screen share here. And no, it's not going to be dirty. It's not going to be dirty at all. Look at what I found. This pair of socks right here. If you could read this, I'm watching Hallmark Christmas movies.
My wife just showed me that yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I wish I remember the sites that she told me.
Yep. See, Hallmark Channel movie Addicted.
I would accept that as a gift.
Seriously, look at that. Turn on Hallmark and bring me wine. There we go.
I would not censor that. No, that's thank you.
This is my Hallmark movie watching blanket. Look at that. If $18.99 to keep this guy warm while he's watching the. Come on, guys. Come on.
Yeah, but Hallmark is such a warm and Joe, thank you for the super chat. It's such a warm channel. You know, it's there's no hate speech in quotation, you know, but you know, it's warm, even though it's kind of sugary and fake because they all have a happy ending. I'm not offended by it. It isn't like I want to say, come on, I want to see a car wreck or an earthquake out there. I want to see some blood and guts. It's not that kind of a channel, you know. So they have censored violence out of it. Am I offended? No, because you know what? I feel good watching it. It's like a sugar high. So anyway, you know. But yeah, those socks, by the way, that shirt you showed me, Tim, don't you dare send me that. I'll kill you. No.
I will post that link in the chat.
Okay.
Anna Rita, though, wants to get you a new Speedo, apparently.
Well, there goes my Christmas ham.
It's a good thing I'm single, because I'd be in big trouble tomorrow. Honey, yes, dear. What's this I saw last night? I know speak English. I don't know nothing. So, anyway. So can we all make Bill Cosby jokes now then? I would not take offense. Yeah. Just don't use bad words. Yeah.
Bill Cosby won't because he doesn't get YouTube where he's at.
Yeah, right. Oh, boy. Hello, Don. Welcome. Oh, you're watching Bing Cosby's White Christmas? Okay, good. It's just a joke. It's a joke. Remember the song Tangerine Speedo? I do not. No.
Vince, I want to make sure that I'm clear. I can't remember what the restaurant is, if it was a Chinese restaurant or a Japanese restaurant.
Well, there's a good chance if you had to take off your shoes.
I'm pretty sure it'd be Japanese because that's their culture.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Vince, no sushi? What?
That
Vince,
kind of
Vince isn't offended by you in a Speedo or me not wearing pants. I've got pants on tonight.
Prove it.
They're sweatpants.
no, thank you.
Look at here's my leg. That's a sweatpant leg, right?
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. Yep, Tim's got a leg up on the jokes tonight. Put a bump.
Oh, that was bad.
Don says that kind of White Christmas would be more of Al Pacino's Scarface. Man, you want a White Christmas, man? You know? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyway.
So has anybody seen the new Grinch? Has anybody gone and seen the new Grinch movie?
No, my son went and saw it.
Did you watch it with him, Steve?
No, he. We're a funny family, so when we go to see a movie, we each go to a different movie.
Mm-hmm. I guess that new superhero movie, that new Aquaman is big. Waterman. You know, how can all these type of characters make big? I don't get it. You know, I think it's time for me to write a script, you know, as a spoof of superhero movies. I'm going to call it Diarrhea Man. You know. Are you tired of the crap coming out of Washington? Poopers of the world, unite. It's Diarrhea Man or Diarrhea Man.
Everybody
yeah.
able to leap over a building in a single bound. Everybody on the streets got an umbrella.
Right, yes. It's Diarrhea Man. Yes. Why not? You know, Aquaman, really? Aquaman?
Oh.
Well, what do I know?
I did find something rather... Let me see if I can find it here. I did find something rather...
Or Kangaroo Man, right, yeah. It's Kangaroo Man.
Able
to hop tall buildings in a single hop, yeah. Mm-hmm.
On the topic of superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me see if I can get this to show. It's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it says, an important announcement from Batman regarding this time of year. I don't smell. How many people get that?
Don't smell.
Jingle bells, Batman smells, Robin laid an egg.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I looked at it and I'm like, what?
Yeah. I like
Oh,
CJ.
that's right.
I like CJ says, diarrhea, man. He's always got to run. Yeah, right.
Who's his arch nemesis? Imodium AD, man.
Yes, I know. Instead of the Bat Cave, it's Diarrhea Cave. Anyway.
The crap cave.
The crab cave, yeah. Quick, down to the crab cave. Anyway, people are joining later. I thought this was a show about censorship. What are you talking about crap? I don't get it. No, but you'll have to replay
Because it's
those
uncensored.
It's uncensored. There we go. That's right. We are equal opportunity channel. We do censored and uncensored, filtered and unfiltered. Yeah. There you go.
Are you having another drinky poo tonight, by the way?
I'm done. I'm done. This is empty. Hollow. It's empty. You know. But I had a Bud Light tonight at the restaurant. I had, what else did I have? I had a Bud Light. I had wedding soup. Oh, man, it was good wedding soup.
What type of restaurant did you go to?
It's a locally owned business, not a national chain, mom and pop type of thing downtown.
Italian, Asian?
Frolics. They call themselves Frolics Classic Corner. It's I guess it's more Italian stuff, although they do a mixture. Had fried zucchini, was good. Then my friend from Pittsburgh was in with his band doing the music stuff. So, I mean, it was nice. It was nice to be there, and friends, family. There was some other people in the crowd I don't know. They were all smiling and happy, and my friend was singing Christmas tunes and, you know, classics from Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole and stuff like that. So it felt nice, you know. It felt like people should feel like that every day, in my opinion. So, you know, that's how I look at the Christmas should be like 365 days a year, in my opinion. The spirit of it.
I was going to say, technically, the spirit's supposed to be of Christmas supposed to be 365 days a year.
I agree, man. You know, but again, that's because of the defect of humanity. We don't feel that way every day, and maybe that's being unrealistic. You know, Anarita, you need to go. Okay. Thank you, Anarita. You can send me the Speedos. I'll send you the address later. I'm just kidding. But
yeah.
Yeah. See, Anarita.
It's a lightweight. Got to go to bed early.
Yeah.
Well, I need to go too, because I need to be up at about 2:45.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right, Tim. Maybe I'll catch you tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely, gentlemen. It was wondrous seeing you again tonight, Joe.
Nice.
And Ricky, of course. Well, I don't know. Rick. I think Ricky passed out.
Yeah. Tim, be very careful on the roads, buddy, because your weather's going to be the same as what we have here.
Yeah. Oh, does that mean it's going to get ugly on my end about tomorrow morning?
It's a
we've got a problem with fog, and
that's bad.
Yeah, it's 38 right now.
It's actual ice, because I went to grab onto to just double check my mailbox again, and it was just like a crust on it, So
it's going to be warm tomorrow in the 50s here in Ohio, so I'm not complaining. So
watch for black ice.
Absolutely.
Before I go, since we're talking about the weather, okay, Vince, give it to us. What's the weather report where you're at today?
I know. Vince, thank you for the super chat. He says this one's as good, the stream's as good as the cyberbullying stream. Yeah, I would have to agree. So thank you. Those of you who joined in late, you can rewind this once it's done processing on YouTube. I hope it was a good, open, honest discussion among friends about a topic. So, you know.
Steve, are you doing one on Sunday morning this week?
Sunday morning, 8 o'clock. So I could shoot you an email.
I will be around for that.
And what is the topic?
So I'm going to do an open chat.
Okay. All right.
See what I can get on.
Ben says, Toss, I'm so upset with Linux. Oh?
Where's my pan?
I was just going to say,
Where's my pan?
Ding dong.
The wife that's looked at me like, what are you, nuts?
Nice. All right, so what is it, 12? Yeah, I'll stick around a little bit longer because I don't have to get up in the
Look at
morning.
that.
Alan says it was 99 in Perth yesterday.
26 Celsius.
man.
So 26 Celsius would be...
That sucks.
26 Celsius would be, what, about 80, 85?
Right about 80. Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Exciting.
Oh, it wasn't all that long ago. We were sitting here in nice T-shirts or cutoff shirts or whatever, and Colin was sitting there with a ski cap on.
I know. Well, it's the opposite. Their seasons are opposite, so I guess it's normal. Colin
was in here. He looks like he must have taken off.
No, he's still
No,
there.
he's here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's there. Yeah.
Ricky, it's about time you got back. We
thought you passed out.
I had to take care of something real quick, but I'm back now.
Did you bring the ice? We're out of ice.
All right, guys. I have Fedora KDE running on the media PC. My apologies to everybody that wanted to actually see the setup video, but KDE is kind of a pain to set up, so I'm just going to do a final walkthrough.
Hey, I got
Fedora. Okay.
I actually have a Linuxy type of technical question. Let me do this. Okay, I would like to screen share really quick, and you guys tell me what's going on here with the good old YouTube. So if you look here, I'm on Opera. It seems to be the only browser I can use Hangouts on without it puking out on me. And suddenly today I get this message in Opera.
I'm wondering if YouTube is changing a lot of weird things behind the scenes. That's kind of the same message you would get trying to play anything that needs DRM.
Yep.
Okay. And see, when I click on frequently asked questions, it drags me over to this page, and it says many YouTube videos will play using HTML5 in supported browsers. What does this browser support? HTML. The HTML, and right here, the HTML5 player is currently used when possible.
You see the two red bangs? Those are usually add-ons that are in there, or add-ons. I guess I said that right. Or extensions.
So this one right here, Joe, and the one right here below it, the H.264.
Yeah, if you look in like Chrome or something, you should see those in there, and I believe. But
Joe.
But I do think that Tom's right. The DRM, what?
I'm trying to talk. I need to talk, guys. I'm sorry. This is like literally how frustrated I am with Linux. Like no one else can talk and me not.
All right, Ben? Can you hold it just a second, because Tim was in the middle of a conversation here. We're trying to answer something.
I am literally about to make my head explode. I'm that frustrated. I'm sorry. I'm just literally, if I don't vent it out, I will literally lose my marbles.
Okay, let Joe finish the answer, then you can tell us, Ben, okay?
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I think Tom's on the right track with DRM, but I know that those two extensions are part of it. And there is some sort of a add-in you can put in through, I'm drawing a blank on it now, that used to be able to put in Firefox. You used to be able to actually do a command line add in there and stuff, but it's not worth all the trouble for it. So the easiest thing is going to be to switch a browser, because I think Tom's right. They've been moving some things around in the background.
Okay, cool. I can watch YouTube on Chrome, and I can watch it on Vivaldi. No problem. It's just I can't
Firefox too will have it. Firefox should run okay too.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm running Mint. And when I installed it, I went ahead and I installed the media codecs, within the installer. And then after installation, I installed all of the extras without adding Flash.
Yeah, and
So-
it was user. What I was trying to remember was user agent. That was the one thing you had to put in. It was a whole different thing. You could command line that in, and I would assume that would fix in there because that's the way it used to be for Firefox before they added DRM.
Okay.
But again, there's other browsers that work, so it's probably not worth the trouble right now.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay,
All right.
Ben, do I need to get my frying pan?
It's
Yep.
worse than that. Like,
It's worse than that.
yes, like, look, you and him having that conversation without me blowing up about being frustrated with Linux was a struggle for me. Like, I could install Ubuntu, sit here, and talk to you guys about what I need done, and you guys go off on another conversation and talk about something, that I would be so lost and confused and frustrated and not understand how to use it. Like, literally, I could sit here and install Gentoo, LFS, and want to rip my hair out and cry and scream and run away from the computer. It's that bad. Like, literally, you guys could be off having a non-Linux conversation and put me in front of Linux, fully set up, any distro, and I would want to scream and cry and rip my hair out. That's literally how bad it's gotten. Like, Linux is so frustrating for me. Like, if I had a kick-ass setup, like Ubuntu Mate, Ubuntu Unity, even anything, even GNOME, I would be scared and want to cry and scream and shout and walk away. Like, it would be like Peppermint, the simplest of simplest all distros. It would not work for me without someone nagging me, holding my hand. Like, that's how bad Linux has gotten to me. Like, that's how complicated it can be. And, like, they could do a KISS tutorial on YouTube or a wiki page, and I would freak out and scream and get pissed off. Like,
If you really want to be mad at Linux, watch my fire session from my news today.
right. That's like me and someone not holding my hand through Linux stuff. That's literally how frustrated I would be. You on fire on video is how bad it could be without someone showing me the ropes like that. Even using the distro by myself to do that. Like, you know, just merely even customizing the desktop would be difficult.
Well, I think Tom's therapy sessions, he charges by the hour. Just want to let you know
Right.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Ben.
will, and the by the hour allows you to get a copy of a computer that you can smash.
Right. Right.
So
What
Ben,
are you? What are
Ben,
you
Ben, I'm kind of lost. What got you so frustrated trying to install Ubuntu?
Yes, by myself with nobody on TeamViewer like that.
That's funny
Yes.
because Ubuntu's not all that hard to install. What?
I
Dude,
That's
know.
weird.
Dude, seriously, you can like crack atoms and stuff that I could only dream of doing.
Yeah.
What was giving you a problem? The installer or what?
The system as a effing whole. Like, even going up to the Unity bar or clicking on the desktop, opening the installer is scary to me without someone doing it. Like, you could sit me in front of a classroom setting all by myself, just walk out of the room, say install Ubuntu, click by click by click, and I would freak out and yell till you came back in the room and showed me what to do. Like, that's how bad I am right now.
You know,
Like-
Ben, you know what? Whenever I get that pee offed about something, I got to get up and I got to walk away from it. I know it may not fit your personality, but you got to take it from all of us sitting here right now. If you get that angered with something, just dude, grab a book, go sit in front of the TV and find a program you like. Just get the hell away from it because it ain't worth it, dude. It isn't worth it.
And Linux isn't working out for me. Only Windows or Mac would. Even Ricky would attest to that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I literally told Ben earlier in our conversation today, guys, that Linux is not for everybody. If you don't like how Linux is working for you, just go back to Windows or Mac. It's just that simple.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how that simple it is for me. Linux is literally not an operating system I can even use, even the simplest. That's just who I am. I mean, I can try and use it, but it would never work out.
Well, that holds true with basically anything that you are struggling with, whether it's this or anything, a lot of times it just comes down to that you need to give the brain a rest or just unlock, walk away, and next thing you know, all of a sudden it's like it almost fixes itself. You just get a clear head, come back with a fresh mind, and you just walk away from it because all you, and I'm the same way to some extent. Sometimes you get so bound and determined, and then finally you sit there and go, what am I doing? I just need to get away from this for a while and come back to it. And next thing you know, boom, the flow kicks right in. And, you know, but Linux, I've always kind of struggled with Linux to a point. And I think part of it is, though, too, as we all do, is that's the good and the downside to Linux, because you can mess with it if you want to, or you could leave it alone and just let it run. And the problem is the more you know about it, the more you want to mess with it, and then you break it, and then you get frustrating, and we all do that, you know.
Right. So you guys are saying I need to take a long break and just not worry about it.
Use what works and don't sweat it. Dude.
Right. And that for me right now is not even Mac. It's just Windows. Mac even.
Is that what you're on? Is that what you're on right now, Ben?
Yes, I'm on Windows 10, and I feel more secure than I would even on a Mac. Like,
to heck with everything else. Stay with what you got. Give it a break.
All right. I'm not even booting up my MacBook or Linux computer right now.
Yeah.
Pretend like they don't exist.
Yeah, I am pretending. What I'm saying is I need to walk away from the video games, the Linux playing, everything. It's a mental breakdown.
Yeah, basically, it's what I told you before, buddy. Just stick with what works, and if Windows is working for you right now, just ride with it, dude.
I am so mentally frustrated by everything that I can't even focus on my schoolwork. It's that bad. Like,
and it's like I told you before, buddy. I mean, stay with Windows, but more importantly, you focus on your studies, because that's what's more important.
Right. I mean, it's even hard. I'm so frustrated right now. It's even hard for me to focus on school, even if I was paid.
But it's not worth it.
It ain't worth it.
It's not worth it, man.
Right.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, cannoli boy, what are you eating right now?
You could put $100 bill.
Chewy lemon heads.
I mean, you could put a 500 box of pizza in front of me with a school book in front of it or behind it, and I wasn't motivated to do my schoolwork at all.
Well, I keep telling everybody use Ubuntu Mate, but nobody listens to me.
Right.
Like, wait! Don't put me in that.
Right.
Okay, not everybody. You know.
Right.
See, I'm a smart guy. I've got mate and peppermint.
I wish I had lemon heads.
You see,
I've got pistachios.
Yeah.
That sounds more nutritional than.
So I'm on my Mate laptop right now, and I was playing around with the different panels, right? So I went to Mutiny, and when I do the Mutiny, the sidebar gets 2 trash cans, and then the top panel, it doubles the time, the computer, the sound.
Yeah.
They're all across the top. It's really weird.
There's still some buggy things with the switching of the panel.
No, that's actually a new feature in it called randomness. That's what it is. Yeah.
The other thing I'll suggest to you, though, Steve, is one of the things you want to do, if you set up your panel exactly how you want it, save the panel and name it. Basically create your own name panel in there, which it allows you to do. Because what will happen is if you go and switch panels and then go back to the other one because you liked it better, everything you set up will be gone and go back to default. Yeah. This way it'll go back to what you had set in there.
Yeah, it says if you select this, it won't save any changes you made.
Right, so if you save it as, you create your own panel in there, then your panel will be in the list.
So yeah, like I said before, Ben, focus on your studies. That's more important.
Let me stop you right there. You or anyone else trying to tell me to focus even on schoolwork is enough to frustrate me. Like
Ben, dude, it's Friday. It's Friday night. When do you go back to school? You go back to school on Monday?
No, I don't even go back to normal college classes till January.
Yeah, you know what?
Okay,
You,
then
you know,
what-
you know what? You know what, dude?
Yeah.
You don't have any schoolwork you have to worry about right now.
Well,
Forget about the.
actually, I would have GED tutoring.
I'll do
normal-
a special stream tomorrow night. Save Ben's mind, starting
You know
at
what?
10 p.m.
Forget that the Linux computer is even there. Forget the Mac is even there.
Mhm.
Go find a closet and put them in the closet and
Right.
leave them there.
Mhm.
And
Well-
let your head tell you when it's time to go and get them.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I could do that, and I wouldn't even focus on my schoolwork at all.
Not worth it, man. Forget about it. I need it. Forget about it. Don't even. Yeah.
Here's a thing, Ben. It's the holiday season. Here's my suggestion to you to get yourself unfrustrated. You want my advice?
What?
One of the things that helps me with frustration, dude, is meditation. I use it from time to time, and it will actually really work. So here's my suggestion to you.
I've tried meditating. I couldn't even do that without getting frustrated.
Well, that's okay though, because now I have suggestion number 2, which is what I already talked to you already. If you want to stay with Windows, just stick with that for a while and see how you do.
I would suggest you avoid technology channels, including this one. I'm not trying to be funny. No, seriously. Go to a music channel, a movie channel, a comedy channel, unless I'm doing a comedy night.
Right.
That sounds pretty good, actually. No, I'm totally serious. Avoid these channels altogether. Just go on to
Like,
something different.
if I have to avoid YouTube.
I guess that's why I watched a Hallmark, because it's totally opposite of this nonsense from you guys. No, I'm just kidding. So,
It would, you see, for me to focus on my math for GED alone, someone would really have to pin me down with pins and needles to get me to focus on it.
well, just ignore the technology channels.
Ignore it for a while, Ben.
It's yeah.
I mean, I would literally have to cut myself off completely from the GED Twitter for me to focus on my studies.
Basically, one thing that also helps me is one thing that helps me, Ben, is even though I love technology so much, I'm trying to convert myself to a minimalist lifestyle to where I don't rely on it so much.
Right, so you're saying I'm relying way too heavy on computers.
I think what's been going on, Ben, is you've relied on Linux so much that it's pretty much put you into overdrive.
Right, so you're saying playing with Windows, Mac, and Linux has gotten me so flustered that I don't know how to not do it.
Exactly. So my suggestion is maybe you need a break from technology to refocus your mind, your body, and your spirit.
I'll give you the phone number of my special doctor, Dr. Vinny Bendova. He's available Monday through
So
Friday.
you're saying just merely me being on the computer is a problem.
Well, look,
Ben, if you're doing something and it pisses you off, don't do it. And
Right.
if you're on the computer's doing it, get the heck away from the computer. That's all there
totally
is.
agree. I totally agree.
I mean, here's the thing, dude. Even though technology is a wonderful thing, at the same time, in my opinion, it's a curse.
Right.
Hey, Ben,
It's become a curse.
when I was younger,
Yeah.
one time I had an accident.
Yeah.
I peed on an electric fence.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Do you think I'm ever going to do that again?
Yeah.
Mm,
No, I'm not going to.
Wow. So you
Okay.
just on an electric fence? You
On
were
an electric fence, right? And
Wow.
it was a painful ordeal. And you know what?
What?
It was so painful. I stayed away from electric fences for a while.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So that convinced you to stay away from a fence.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So,
So-
you're
just
saying
Walk away from it. Walk away from it. Just
Yeah.
give it a break and get away
Yes,
from it.
that's right. Just think of the electric fence, and it should be no problem.
Yep.
so you're
Ba-
saying I like pissing on electric fence.
Just a quote from Ren and Stimpy: "Don't whiz on the electric fence."
So you're telling
Boy, Tom, you know what? Whatever I need to feel good about myself, I'll just give you a ring, buddy.
You know,
you guys are right. I am not going to sustain myself if I have to do technology.
Basically,
See if I can
Ben,
move this over
what
here.
you need to do, for the most part, is just avoid technology for a little while to pretty much get yourself back into the driver's seat. Once you're in the driver's seat, buddy, then you need to ask yourself one question. Okay, now that my mind is clear, how do I want to use technology? What is my reason for using it, and what's the purpose? Because here's the thing, Ben, technology is a two-way street. You can either use it for good or not.
And
You
I'm
know,
used-
when I'm stressed out and I can't fall asleep, or so, the last thing on my mind is freaking technology.
He drinks a bunch of whiskey, eats lemonades, and watches.
Yes, that's what's on my mind. Thank you. Yes.
caffeine helps me fall asleep, not non-caffeinated drinks.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's my challenge.
Well,
Like,
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
well,
Don. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn the computer off and just
Yes. Yes. Do not join me on any streams this year. I will not take it personal. Just chill out. Yes.
And just letting you know, Ben, if you even need to contact me, you know how to reach me.
Right.
And if you really need to calm down, do not join Tom's fire streams. They're not conducive.
Hey, except I railed pretty hard on the Linux Foundation today.
Okay. All
I
right.
know you did. Well,
Yeah, don't turn your back on them while you're listening to either, unless you want to get the bejesus scared out of you.
well, I'll tell you what. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to cut everything completely off except for me doing something on my own.
Yeah, here's an idea, Ben.
Yeah.
Find something fun to do. If you find something fun to do, it will make your world a whole lot better.
Right.
That's
Whether
right.
it's a video game or just sitting on my bed.
Here's an idea. Here's an idea, Ben. You could either do a video game, watch a favorite TV show, or just you know have an outing on the town.
I would do something silly. I would go out and eat maybe like a half a dozen fiber bars and just let it rip all day, man. That's what I would do.
Right.
Just a thought.
He wouldn't do that for fun. That's doctor's orders for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
I am literally at the point where I could sit there, eat pizza, and stare at a blank TV screen and calm down.
Hey, sometimes that's the best show.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I could sit
Ben,
there.
watch the Hallmark Channel. Trust me, you'll feel better.
Right.
You go to sleep in a matter of minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I'll knock
It
And all the stories are the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Boy meets girl.
That's what I
Yeah,
Boy
and if
loses
you're
girl.
single, they look even better. Yeah. You know.
Boy meets
Yeah.
girl. Boy loses girl. Boy gets girl back.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what?
With me and my girlfriend Carly, it's like a Hallmark movie, basically. And it's
Oh, okay. Well, then watch it together. There you go.
Hey, why don't you spend time with your girlfriend instead of on the
Yeah,
computer?
really.
Yeah.
So she would probably appreciate
doesn't
it.
live with me. She's an online girlfriend, put it that way. She lives the distances, and it's so hard for me to focus on just her and not another girl. She literally has to stop what she's doing at work, get on Discord, and talk to me to get me to not cheat on her. Like, it's worse than a Hallmark movie with me.
I can beat up on Linux for a minute here. Cody stopped supporting their Confluence theme, which is by far their best theme ever.
I don't use Kodi at all.
I use it, so I'll sleep good tonight because I don't care.
Okay, I have a question for the Linux question for the minds in the room.
Okay.
Linux Mint always works. It just always does.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a little bit of time here over the weekend, and I want to try something new.
Yeah.
And I want to stick with Ubuntu based or Deb as a package manager.
Yeah.
What do you think I should? What do you think I should? do?
LXLE.
Well,
Look it up.
Well, Tim, my suggestion is using Voyager.
Okay.
It's
LX
different.
LXLE.
Lightweight, fast, yeah.
Carmine, you said LXLE. That's like a Ubuntu based thing, isn't it?
It's a mixture. They've done a good job. Just check it out. Trust me, it's something I don't think you've seen before. I think you'll enjoy it.
Maybe I'll give that a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lightweight, but it's loaded. How did they do it? I'm not sure, but they pulled it off. It's not bad.
You see, guys, talking to you about the problem actually,
Fedora sucks. Okay.
you know,
The network
Welcome today to our session on Walk in Christ. Fedora sucks. Thank you for coming. Have a good day. Yeah.
I see, just
Preach.
talking to you all about my problem, like literally having a therapy kind of session about it. made me calm down and feel like I want to go.
I'll send you the bill Monday, Ben. Thank you. That's kidding.
See, now I feel calm. Now I feel happy about something.
Yes.
Like, yeah, like literally just sitting here collecting my thoughts, talking to you guys about the problem, made me feel a bit more motivated. Even like blossoming a flower. Like you see, sitting here like even 20 minutes, just calming myself, you know, taking deep breaths, talking to you guys.
Take a break. Take a break from technology, Ben. Trust me. It'll go away.
Sitting here with you guys helped me calm down. Being by myself in front of the computer, my phone, whatever, it is difficult without someone sitting with me, like talking to me about the problem.
Well, the thing is, Ben, when you have a problem and it really eats at you, the best way to deal with the problem is just talk to somebody. Just get it out there.
Right. And I don't have enough in real life friends that I would feel better about it that much. Like, they would literally have to cut everything off in their day to come sit with me and make me feel better. That's how bad I am.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I would literally have to be on a hangout call with you, Ricky, and just sit here 12 hours a day just to help me calm down.
Yeah, I can understand that completely.
And I know you don't have that kind of time for yourself even. That's how bad I am. Like, literally, what?
Hey, I got a question.
What?
Has Zoran released a new OS based on 1804 yet?
I haven't seen
Not
it.
yet.
No, I've not seen it.
Zoran is still at its current version. I've been checking DistroWatch. There is no new release.
That's bad.
Zoran has not been updated in at least 1 to 2 years, I believe.
That kind of sucks because that's usually they release in the fall after the LTS, and they haven't yet. I just realized that.
Well, they must be having a lot of problems.
All right, it is almost 1. So how about if we finish up a little bit of odd news and then we'll wrap it up. So,
Oh, my favorite subject.
of course.
I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, guys.
All right, Ben.
All right, good night, buddy.
Hey,
All
Ben.
right.
Ben. Hey, Ben.
What?
Before you go,
What?
I'm going to throw my email address into the
Text chat.
chat.
Yeah.
I'll kind of be around all weekend. If you want to do a hangout,
Someone to talk.
just you go ahead and email me.
So
Got it there?
you're willing to be like a therapist to me, basically.
Yep.
Maybe it's just me, Ben, but I wouldn't talk to a guy holding a frying pan. It's just you know.
Come on. Are you kidding me? It doesn't have any sharp edges on it.
You worry about
Okay.
the guy in the frying pan. I'm not worried about the guy that doesn't wash his pants.
You know, I'm willing to trust him with my email at this point to help me calm down.
All right.
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead and email me if you need to, Ben.
You put it in the call chat or the hangout window chat?
No, don't put it in the hangouts if you're not comfortable. Just email me. And
I don't know what your email is. I don't see.
I put it in the chat. You got
It's there.
Oh,
Just
wait.
scroll, yeah.
it's there in the chat.
In the YouTube chat. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Ben. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm like totally disgruntled right now.
Do you want me to put it in the regular? I'll put it in the regular chat.
Oh, it's fine. I see it. I copied it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I think what you need, Ben, is just a good night's rest.
Decompress.
Yes. I think you should just go to bed, buddy.
And then come back to the laptop in the morning.
Exactly. That's what you need to
So
do.
you're saying for me to even have fun and focus, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
When's the last time you ate, Ben?
I don't remember. Like,
Then go eat something and go to bed.
right. You see, I don't even remember that I ate 3 or 4 or 5, 6 hours ago. Like, I don't even remember the last time I ate. I'm so dysfunctional.
Well, here's the thing, Ben. Before I even deal with any technology, I put myself first because my health is more valuable than a machine.
Right. I'm not even recognizing that. So, like, I will literally get up out of bed, not even take my clothes off. I'll just fall asleep in bed and not even take my clothes off get on the. I won't even fall asleep on the bed. I'm so attached to technology and not take my clothes off.
Well, what you need to do right now, dude, is just get something to eat and go to bed and allow your body to decompress.
You can tell I'm to it. Yeah.
And go to bed.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right.
Alrighty.
Good night, buddy.
Hey, Tim,
Yeah.
go to bed.
Yeah, well, I'm not having system problems or anything like that, or
No, but you got
despondent.
3 hours. You got to be up.
That's fine. And you know what? Here's the pain of it too, right? I should have planned a little bit better, because as soon as I get home from dropping these folks off at the airport, a racing series, Formula E, they're electronic formula cars, that starts in the morning, and they're not replaying the race later in the day, and it's on at 5:30 a.m. So that tomorrow is just going to kind of
Wow.
I need to catch up. So tomorrow's going to be one of those that's kind of
Interesting.
take some sleep, get a bunch of sleep, stuff like that. So I'll let Carmine do the news, and then I'll get the heck out of here.
Let's see. Los Angeles restaurant offering $500 gold brownie.
What?
A Los Angeles restaurant is taking dessert to new heights of decadence with 24-karat edible gold.
Uh,
Well, I guess they're scoring brownie points. Let's move on. Yeah.
Ouch.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Okay. Chihuahua chases off attempted burglar in Texas. Yeah.
What was it? A mouse trying to get in the cupboard?
A Houston man's bell door camera captured the moment a would-be burglar was chased away by the neighborhood's protector, a stray Chihuahua. I guess it was the noise scared him. Okay, all right, yeah. Australian bodybuilder pulls tow truck for Guinness record, and the truck was full of kangaroos, I think. No, I'm just kidding.
How much did it weigh and how far?
25,000 pounds.
my lord.
Doesn't say how far. Okay.
Did he do it with his teeth?
No, not with his teeth. Nope. Doesn't
Dang.
look. I think he's just pulling it. Yeah, that would have been something with his teeth, or with something else he was pulling it. All right, let's move along. Burglary suspect trapped in grease vent for 2 days. A slippery suspect. Okay. KFC creates fried chicken scented fire log. That's actually pretty clever. I like that one. Yeah, honey, what's for dinner? I don't know. What smells good in here? It's the fire log. I like that. A fire log designed to smell like fried chicken.
I could make a really crude joke right now. You know what? Give me a bucket of chicken. I'll make my own log.
Ew.
But up. That's a good one. I like that. Okay. Computer glitch drops gas price to 1 cent. A Circle K gas station in South Carolina said a glitch caused gas price to drop to just 1 cent per gallon. Nice.
Well, somebody got a discount.
That's right. German factory spills chocolate into street. A storage tank overflowed at a chocolate in Germany. Boy, talk about German chocolate, causing liquid chocolate to flow out into the street. I mean, that looks so yummy too.
It looked like chocolate lava. I saw that.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
And German chocolate is really good chocolate. Really good chocolate.
Yeah, sweet story. Haha. Let's see. Anything else here? Let me scroll down. Teen takes a free ride on the back of a DC Metro bus. Okay. Insomnia leads woman to her second lottery jackpot.
What?
Oh, that's what it says from Maryland. She says a bout with insomnia led her to a $13,000 lottery prize. Her second big jackpot from the racetracks game. I don't know what that is, but okay. What else we have here? Did I mention this yesterday, the day before? Boy chased by turkey through Wisconsin neighborhood.
Yeah.
I thought I did, yeah.
You did.
Aw, Joe, were you getting chased by a
But I
turkey?
knew that was coming.
Joe,
My cows and horses out here.
you got cows and horses?
Not me, but it's around me over here. There's enough of them. We're 5 minutes in any direction.
Joe, I got to come and visit you, and we're going to go cow tipping.
Yeah.
Playing dogs stop traffic on Phoenix Highway. Okay. This is my favorite story. Residents plant Christmas tree in pothole. That's my favorite one. Good one. Let's see.
Hey, has anybody tried Pop OS lately?
Not lately, no.
I remember I tried it a few months ago and I just didn't like it.
Yeah, but you're not really a gnome guy, though, are you, Ricky?
Not really.
Yeah, we did it on a Biddle challenge just a few weeks ago.
How did you do it, Joe?
Yeah.
How was it?
It wasn't bad. I mean, I still think Fedora 29 was more polished and fluid and easier.
All right, so speaking of Fedora, Tom, what's up with Fedora briefly? Is what makes it so?
Helps to mute my mic. Okay, I've always had network issues, and I wasn't sure what the issue was, and I got it working now, but it doesn't seem to have the ability to access my network quite as easy as it should. So I had to go in and reset all of my Kodi settings, and there's a number of them. So I mostly, I'm not. Well, it's definitely a Fedora thing because even Dolphin, I have to manually enter the network paths for my shares
too much
rather than every other system booted in and hey, it sees my network and goes.
When you installed it, though, there's a checkbox that's easily checked almost by mistake to do another level of security login, which kind of locks down a lot of that stuff, and then you gotta, it's more steps, I guess, so to speak, to get everything.
Yeah, I'm set as administrator. I saw that one. It might just be an issue of maybe they've disabled some SMB stuff by default, which would be a security thing.
Yeah,
so.
it is heavily secured, that I know, and that has caused a couple of painful moments for people, but you know.
This is like VLC's not even on this thing.
Yeah, right.
Like I can't even. I mean, it might be there. I might have to dig further for it, but
try MPlayer. It seems to work better in VLC anyway.
MPlayer, okay.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, did you guys on Biddle? Did you guys do the LTS pop or the 1810 version?
1810, I think, was the last one we did.
Okay, I'm gonna give that a try next.
Yeah,
It's a good holiday news article headline. Man puts up sculpture of middle finger as a message to town.
Oh my God.
A Vermont man who, in an ongoing dispute with this town, has let officials know exactly how he feels. But they wouldn't.
His name was Bernie. Was it Bernie Sanders?
No, it doesn't say. But
speaking his mind.
Yeah, really.
There.
Okay, well, happy holidays. Let's see, anything else? 89-year-old Alabama woman jailed over messy appliance store.
What?
Okay. I won't go there. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Man sues after getting finger caught in airplane armrest. Well, which finger was it? One of his pinky fingers. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Well, he must have had a reason to sue.
A Southwest airline had to turn around. I caught this morning. Had to turn around because the one of the flight attendants forgot to put a heart in transport for a heart transplant. They had to turn around and get it.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but there was another headline where somebody didn't an airline have a heart on the plane and it didn't know where it was supposed, or a kidney or something, and they had no idea who it was going to get delivered to. I thought I saw that headline in the last week too.
From Associated Press. Did I say this one? I don't know. It says here, Uranus Examiner ends publication blaming judgmental people. The Uranus Examiner, a small Missouri newspaper whose name inspired chuckles and groans when it launched a few months ago, is closing. You think? Uranus Examiner. Okay. Let's see here. Man, woman drive from Arizona to Wyoming with kids in trunk. Ew.
Oh my.
What is your problem?
That's not right.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Enter the bull. Fighters mix kung fu and bullfighting in China. That would be interesting.
That's interesting.
I gotta click that. Let me see real quick. Yeah. So it's bull fu?
Bofu.
Wow. All right. There's only one little picture there, but I don't know. It's possible. It's possible.
What do you mean, bofu? What are you creating new slang or what?
Yeah. Bull fu. Yeah. Utah man accused of hammering ice pick through man's. Ew. Yeah, you can fill in the other. Oh my God. Oh, that hurts just talking about. Why did I pick that? Okay. Let's move on.
Well, gentlemen, I'm going to hit the sack. I got to get up early for work.
Okay, Steve. Thank you for stopping by.
You guys.
Take care, Steve.
Take care. Yeah, I'm going to end this soon. Yeah, thanks.
See you Sunday, Steve.
Well, Minnesota, Tim, this is for you. A Minnesota church ends 70-year-old tradition of luked fish dinner. What is luked fish? Fisk. Luked fisk?
It is lutefisk is a white fish, and you know we make fun of Colin and the other guys about their Vegemite and stuff like that. Lutefisk is something that you want to run like heck from.
Okay.
You know, lutefisk to me, a fish sandwich from McDonald's would be caviar compared to lutefisk.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty scary.
It's pretty yucky stuff.
Yeah.
Stinks too.
I guess they're going to stop it. Well, good for them.
You cook that in your house, you got to repaint.
Okay.
Seriously, you got to rip the carpet out and repaint.
Ooh.
And hope you didn't have any bare spots in the sheetrock because of seeped in.
Electric scooters being dumped in California lake as popularity explodes. Wait a minute. That sounds like an oxymoron. If they're popular, why are they being dumped?
Because what happens is everywhere that those stupid things show up, what ends up happening is they are just being left all over the place. It is insane what's happening with those stupid things, and people are getting so frustrated with them. On one hand, people are getting so frustrated with them, they're just throwing them out. On the other hand, some people are like, I'm just going to pay the deposit for fun and do goofy things like throw them on roofs and things like that.
Okay. I didn't know that was a problem.
CJ, this said lutefisk ain't bad. Good God, what planet are you from, dude?
Really?
It's kind of like I had Scrapple once. Oh.
All right, let's see here. Santa horrifies parents in England by yelling, "Get the bleep out" at event.
Oh, my Lord.
Okay. One more, then I'm done. Let's see if I can pick a good one. A squirrel is so excited for UPS delivery that he can't keep his paws to himself. Oh, how cute. Okay. Anyway. All right, I'm done. All right, last call for comments in the chat. Live chat here. Thank you for sticking around, all 16 of you.
By the way,
I know it's late, yeah.
Everybody in the comments section, smash that like button, support everybody here.
Vegemite and lutefisk. No.
Do you ever, I don't know if I should ask this or not, I was going to say about downloading videos. Does anybody like to save video file? And you what's nice is when you could save them into, I have stuff categorized or whatever. but then a video that's been helpful, tutorial, whatever, if they're taken down or disabled or whatever, then you don't have them anymore. And I know YouTube is kind of shut that feature off on Chrome or whatever, but there is a program in Linux, and it works super well. I don't know if you mind me sharing it or not.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Clip grab, it's called.
I just use the command line YouTube download YouTube.dl, but I don't do that much. If it's something I need to resource, but I don't really do it.
I've used that. Yeah. It can be hit or miss sometimes.
Really? It's always worked for me, but okay, yeah.
But and I don't know if something, and even with this, there's certain videos if it doesn't like the URL or whatever, so that might be part of it. But this thing seems to work super well.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll download my own just to transfer it to like an MP3 file every once in a while, but not that much. Yeah.
Can't you just use simple screen recorder and just record a section of the screen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you able to do that on YouTube?
I don't know. I don't know if
I've done that before, a small section, but I don't normally do it that way now. Yeah, YouTube-DL, and then the link. I have not used Clip Grab personally.
There's the PPA for it.
Okay.
But I just thought I'd try because I've tried the YouTube downloader, and I don't know if I did it through the command. I thought I tried it through the command line too, but it seems like it was hit or miss on what videos it would allow you to do or not. So far, I haven't had too much problem with this.
Okay.
And the nice thing is this is like a GUI. I mean, I like using the terminal too as well. But every so often it's nice to just hit an icon and so.
Holy crap! Right. The ISO for Pop OS 1810 is 2.2 gigabytes.
It's a big ISO, yeah. But they have a lot going on in it. That's why with the tweaks and stuff. So, and for me, I can't remember exactly what our reviews were. There were some things that I remember were okay. I'm not a big GNOME guy, so that's part of it. But I do remember it wasn't bad. It's just not something I would want to live in because I'm not a big GNOME guy. So.
I'm just going to try something. Now tomorrow night, of course, I'm going to get on the stream, and none of my browsers will work, and I'll be installing an OS midstream, so I'll do the stream from my cell phone tomorrow night.
I'll have the frying pan ready for you, Tim.
Have you used Peppermint at all, or like Ubuntu, even the latest,
Here's the thing, Joe. I have used a bunch of different, screwed around with a bunch of different distros, but with I don't really do a ton of work per se, but there's a couple of things that, and we've talked about it before, and I'll make it quick. There's a couple of things that OS-wise that I just like to have. One of them is a hot corner to be able to transition between workspaces, because I may be in a browser, and I have an email come through, and I have an email open on another virtual desktop. It is this easy to go and hit a hot corner, use my mouse wheel, go to my email, click, and I'm there. It's one of those things, and you can do workspaces, up on the in the taskbar on Peppermint, but I don't like doing that. I don't like using it. If there's a way that I can put hot corners on an XFCE or a LXDE or LXQT desktop environment, yeah, I'd probably use one of those. But
I'm not sure if you can or not. It's not something I could try it because I got enough Peppermint machines here. The other thing is you've got that ability to do that almost like an app, the ICE apps, where you can be a launcher right up on your desktop.
Yep.
So.
Tom's giving us a hint based on his walk in Christ. Anyway,
I have a sneaky suspicion this is not going to last until the end of the year.
Okay.
I don't know. I actually, especially on my touch screen laptop, my test laptop. I thought it worked really
I
well.
think I'm gonna have to hard shut this thing down. It
Okay.
is frozen. I
But
think.
the thing about the gnome one, you got to add a bunch. You still got to add extensions in there.
Tom,
I-
which version of Mint did you test, Tom? Mate, XFCE, Cinnamon?
For which one? 19?
19.1.
Cinnamon. That was the only one available when I.
Okay, because now all of them, I think I may take a look at that. Which one has the desktop changer? Is it Cinnamon? Does a new desktop? Or like
Yeah,
a new
because,
layout? Okay.
because the Cinnamon is what they're doing with the more modern UI.
Okay,
type
then
of
I might take a look at that just out of curiosity. Okay.
Okay, so what I'm actually encountering here is that it seems to be the same issue that I've had before, where so I think the part of the problem is Kodi does not work well with KDE. This was kind of what my test was. Can I get Kodi working well on this? And it appears like I can recover from the system, so I'm not frozen. It's just Kodi seems to be
Okay.
dead. What is it? It's kill all, right? Is that the command for that?
P kill, I think.
What is it?
P kill, and then the whatever you're looking to kill. P kill space Cody.
P kill, like Paul?
Yeah, P as in Paul, kill. It's together, and then space Cody.
You know, my favorite computer is the one I had as a kid that had the 2 light dials on it. And when you didn't like what was on the screen,
That's
you
just
just picked it
sketch.
up and shook it.
That's
Yeah,
just
it went
sketch.
away.
Yeah, I remember that. Sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
Yeah.
sketch.
I was just playing with one of those with my granddaughter.
All right. Do we have a system monitor on here?
Do they even still make Exa sketches?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
my granddaughter was just playing with one the other day over next door, and now instead of shaking
They
it,
still make
you
them?
have a slide bar that goes up and down.
Etch-a sketches. Mrs. F. This said that yes, they still make
Yeah.
Etch-a sketches.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You took your headset off, but I say my granddaughter has one. It was my grandson's, and there's a slide bar now. Instead of shaking it, you just slide the bar up and down to clear the screen.
What?
So,
You know why? It has to be because some kid picked it up and did this and whacked themselves in the head.
probably.
So they had to make a safer Etch-a-sketch.
Do you remember Lightbright? They probably stopped making those because somebody probably eat the pegs.
I haven't seen a
Or,
light.
or they,
That's-
or they
that's
burn
a-
themselves with it.
Back in the 70s, how many kids were in the emergency room getting light bright pieces pulled out of their nasal cavity? There's a lot of them.
For their ears.
That's one thing I never did. I never stuck anything up my nose.
Dude,
They
I
wanted
cannot kill Cody. It will not die.
Seriously.
It's a horror movie. It will not die.
I loaded up the I
Well,
pulled up the
it's
system
well,
monitor, and
this-
the system monitor is not working right.
Well, this is a job for Diarrhea Man. Da, 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 da.
Sounds like Tom Fedora's not liking you too well.
Well, I don't know if it's Fedora or if it's KDE/Cody.
I will say if it's KDE, you might need to change the environment.
Well, that was the test because I've had the problem swapping between Kodi and KDE on Debian Stretch, both on the Debian Stretch and on Linux Mint Debian Edition.
Yeah.
I've not observed that on Linux Mint KDE, and now am getting effectively the same thing where it won't leave it. Like Kodi will, it's still sitting here in my task manager. If I hit it, I just have just a blank screen. And I
And
can't
that
do
is,
anything with it.
Tom, that is not just a Fedora thing. I've had that happen on some distros too.
But
and
that's
sometimes it's hit
what
or
I'm
miss,
saying
sometimes
is
it'll
that
work.
this happens on Debian, and I wanted to see, does it also happen? Is it a Debian plus KDE plus Kodi, or is it KDE plus Kodi? That's why I went to Fedora on this to make sure that was the case. Sudo kill all Kodi bin. Let me try that one.
I bet, Tom, if you were to switch the environment to Cinnamon, then Kodi would behave.
Yes, actually, because when on Linux Mint Debian Edition, I had 3 environments. I had Cinnamon, KDE, and GNOME. And I found that Cinnamon, for the way this computer works, isn't my ideal environment. So I had been running GNOME for a few weeks because GNOME had no problem jumping in and out of Kodi. But it seems to be just KDE and Cody. Is that what you're saying, Joe? Just
Yeah, it's for whatever reason, like the pkill command will work most times, but I have had some times where it wouldn't. I literally had to reboot my system, and then the next time it's where I'd have it seemed like it froze. I couldn't get it to do something, and then it would work. It would kill it. I did see that. I was starting to type to him. Q1 Fiend. He said kill all. The problem is with that I'm concerned with is if you hit that, it might kill your stream and everything that you're on.
Okay, I did kill all, nothing. I get no process found. Let me try just Cody instead of Cody bin. No process found. Heck, man, holy crap.
You're putting a space between the pkill and Cody, right? When you do that?
Yes, correct. Yeah, I did Cody, and
I got to get up in less than 2.5 hours. I'm bugging out.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm all right, Tim.
What time tomorrow night, Toss?
Probably around 10.
Okay, cool. Shoot me an email.
Okay, all right, sounds good, bud.
Guys, you take care. Have a great Saturday.
Hey,
Yep.
we'll see you, Tim.
Okay, you too.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna. This is 1:30. So anyway, thank you all in the live chat who came in, stuck around. If you missed any of this, go ahead and replay it. It's always enlightening, entertaining to do a different off topic every now and then. So
Yeah.
So this was fun. So yeah, I'll probably tomorrow night at around 10, I would say.
Okay.
Then maybe Sunday night if you want to do a last life of Linux for the year, like the year in review or something. Maybe Sunday night.
I can probably do that. It'd probably be like after 9 or 10 or something.
That's what I was thinking. After 9. So, but I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So Surge gave me one, but that gives me no process found. I think it's just a zombie. It's just gonna be here till I restart. I'm just gonna deal with it. There's a YouTube video I want to watch, and then I'll restart the computer.
Yeah. So the Cody window is still there, but it's black, right?
Yeah.